Shinji labja jaza zangara bama sada ho jin ye jin no shan bama gezara domba la yamzam joga ngudra bama jone jeza dang goda gandro mambo ji jeza dada ji shinji labja jaza gara bama sada ho jin ye jin no shan Bama gezara domba la yamzam joga ngudra Bama jone jisa jang koda kandro mambo Keji jisa dada ji shinje labja shasa Gara bama sarda ho Oma hong banzara gara bama sarda ho Oma hong banzara gara bama Oma hong banzarangara bama sarda Oma hong banzarangara bama sarda Oma hong banzarangara bama sarda Oma hong banzarangara sarda Oma hong banzarangara bama 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 sarda ho Jila da jang sora da be da so ganda ne be sabjo na da warmbon dabjo jewa Gajin beram za da sora Jumdan dim gombon jang horang la shang za lo Ganga lo tu dumye zheng zheng nye da nam da ra se Jinye donggan jimshan zibshir nye je da gara la wam za Tanda zimbi zura maru manda dengara jizar Dozo gan la vachi dar je yan la tu je yang da Dudara je zho nyamo nyalo le je zho zho chamza Maru mangze dengara nye ga jinye chamza ra zha Dune da zha sabjin da zho yonda le zho jati da Chadab chadab jani jantin dalum Janghora yang lan dada Umara baza narda 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 Nardo Umara baza narda 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 Umara baza narda, Umara baza narda, Umara baza narda, Umara baza narda, Umara baza Umara baza narda, Sidana jijin jero wozere ji dalu dama mamba ravsan ni kwadang damju zhonglu doba Hubi nawa jeta soro, nyalji jimbo zodana nyime zhang, zoni molong jimbo ngavjat Pakara dangam zandu sharma do tumba tiji jangla shansar lo. Oya tani ta terang atsundana tani porik tani panda nambata tani nashok mata tani jargrim tani mamboz lemdik tani tsangmala tomar tani gomo delag joyin.
Tonight we have in our audience Tibetans and Westerners and Chinese. Firstly, I'd like to say good evening to everybody.
Tani nga tsu terang lakang di nang la tani bor gyar tani nafshok ma tani tani mangboz nyam tan zomni tani tsangma tani tambi chu nyamba tani tangna tani nga rang la yang tani ta tamchi pola tani tambi chu shadje tani korku tani shongwa la tani pe sim gabo shongsong.
I'm extremely pleased and extremely happy to have the chance to give a teaching on the Dharma here to the audience, which is comprised of Tibetans and Chinese and Westerners all gathering here together.
Tani ngarang so tambi chu toni shadna tani yarik zeyan jata, porik zeyan jata, tani 지금 넙쇼고 뭐지한다 tani 그 머르크 거냐 예와는 tani 지금 가게요 말이
When we're talking about the Dharma, then saying Chinese or Westerner or Tibetan, there is no need to make these distinctions between different ethnicities or peoples.
tani 지금 머르 가로제한다 머르 낙보제한다 머르 세로제한다 tani 그 tani 또 머직 그 돈이 예와양 요 말이
Similarly, there's no need to make distinctions or to discriminate between people who are white or black or yellow.
tani 가서 잠발한 그 샤르쇼제하다 넙쇼제하다 tani 그 예와양 또 담비 추 돈이잖아 지지요 말이
And likewise, no need to make distinctions between people who are from the east and those who are from the west.
tani 아메리카 자르크제한다 tani 지 자르크 잠바제한다 tani 자르크 잔섬 그 예와양 또 델라 지지요 말이 담비 춘데라
And from the point of view of the Dharma, similarly, no point in making distinctions in terms of the countries that people come from, in terms of national borders.
다 텐디인디 가수 담비 추니 가수 되니 지다 먼남기 지더니 더 샤쇼다 너쇼거 예와 머르거 예와 머르거 세로 땅 낙보 가로지 바텐디거 예와 텐디거 예와 망보 우스 가수 시오 텐디거 예와 망보 시오 때 되니 가수 담비 추고 예와 때 참마 매바시니 때 추고 돈이 다 텐디 시작이요 그래 남바 춘디 돈이
So in terms of Dharma, it's important that we don't make these distinctions and bring these distinctions into the Dharma, these distinctions between ethnicities and nationalities and this people and that people.
tani sanje shakya pa chute thomar jagar la tani shongwe nerkamna tani jagar ka nangla samlo tangna murg je yewate halepa ga charam ga yewate halepa ga ti kaps sarota tani yewate so parla tani tin thapsut 대양 하정은 용장 된디 체위 강 된디 지리
When Buddhism arose in India, they had a very clear differentiation between the four castes in Indian society, which was a source of great conflict.
옛나양 티카스티니 산지 좀든데가 소나 tani 당아소티니 머르 대소 마레스 tani 머거 자름금 통문 대양 tani 소 마레스 tani 슬라 tani 셰르비오나 냥지오나 저바 냠리니오나 소종 약보요나 대소오레 마토바 대 잠바티소 소 마레소니 tani 송바레스
And the Buddha did not recognize these distinctions. He said that is not the basis on which to differentiate people, their caste or their class. In fact, what we should be judging people by or differentiating them by is their wisdom, their compassion, their realization, and their learning.
tani 상지 나랑서 어떤이 똥바 tani 송요티 tani 나랑 탐지 보여 디 진지긴디 똥바랑 거 강터 송바티 지슬람니 도야 마토바 잠바 요 마레스
Aside from taking vows and proceeding in the Dharma, there was no other path to take.
더 딘디인디 나저 담비추 차버렸더니 탁바 침보고 또 담비추 뒤통에 샤나 이는 아주 상마 더니 미르 남 탐시본 잠님바 마스 더니 모당 쪽착 더니기 바라요 상마 잠님 그거니 더니 조요리.
So in terms of the Dharma and in particular the Mahayana tradition, it's important that we not just have a view of equality between all people, but also between people and animals, and this is the path in which we need to follow.
딘디인디 더니 가서 베나 대랑 가서 딘디 담비추 샤파 딘디 값스 더니 가서 머르 가로였나 낙보였나자 야나 가서 더니 야였나 보였나 더니 너쇼바였나 세였나 담시 냠든 좀니 담시 보시지르 그거니 더니 출라로종자 딘디도 가서 tomba 상지 랑가 투공 투제땅 텀바 딘디즈리스.
So that we Tibetans and Chinese and Westerners are gathering here and are studying the Dharma together without these differentiations and distinctions is in complete harmony and accordance with the intention of the Buddha and the spirit of the Dharma.
딘디인디 가서 담비추 고니 드니 다 고샤 바로 고샤 자야타와 딘디즈요나 앞에나 가서 보바가 추이나요 드니 가서 보그 추드 ngaran cho chi bo yin zini ta tin ri ma yin ba tin zambalang gam si na korang cho dojong shin donken korang cho nyamsil nin donken tin ri yin na o tin nga chu chund ngaran cho boba ga chure nga cho boba chi bo ma to ba zambalang nga cho gosha jab kum zini tin ri zejin yo mare zege yo mare tan zambalang gam sala yin na tin par tin gosha jab tamchi bola jin goya tin ri zri.
The idea that the Dharma is the preserve of Tibetans and doesn't belong to anybody else, or that it belongs to Tibetans and shouldn't be shared with other people, is completely unfounded. Anybody who has the desire to learn the Dharma and to practice the Dharma is equally welcome and entitled to take part in the tradition.
Tani sanji chumdende nyangan lendevi kapsa tani konga tani pe namba ni go ne pejut namba ni go ne tani koranga tani chuta maung bana tani gandhi shine semchen thamchola gosha jab go mar go te koranga saru sung yores.
The Bezinanta.
Pejut.
Oh, Pejut. Oh, yeah. He gave two examples of the way that the Dharma would proceed in the future, the Buddha. The Buddha gave these examples.
Peshte kang rezena tani sanje ge songne ta pena tani jarwo ta chongba chigla tani mushikbu ta shikbu zena choko mahachang ge shikbu tani zigla tani korang la tani po mangbo tani to yores korang chikpola purjit hachang mangbo yores tani ta tangbo te zena choko te korang la po hachang mangbo yores.
So one of the examples he gave was of an extremely wealthy person, a business person, a person with a lot of wealth who also had a lot of sons.
Tani shikbo de korang po mangbo di pa de tani ta ko shiwi kapsu tani po kashi korang ga tani ta zabla tani korang ga zhongla ndege yores kashi sholola tani chong japsa ta tani mangchi wasu sholola tani chong japya ta leka leya ta tani ge dondagla tani song yores.
He said that when he passes away, that some of his sons will stay and look after the household, but most of them would have to go outside and work, do business, make money.
Tani ti kapsa tani tari shikbo gabo shikbo ti a koranga jamla yongken koranga zhongla yongken ga tani bu cheshu de sola tani ngarang ga tani jin de so tamchi po tani tartang ne kyoso lala tani jaga yensi. 옛날 디 나니 테니 다른 나랑 라티니 부하장 망보요. 그래서 참아 다스탄다나 요 말했다. 이나 코소 마옹바나 코소 참아 서 리뷰용 그래. 디 값스 코소 리뷰용에 겁나 테니 나랑 그 지연도서 담죠 보. 데 코소 라라 야보 신이 고샤 잠니 코소라 짜고 딩겐테 테니 결혼sol라 요즈네. 테니 머식보디 테니 샤니 테니 코랑 시송어레스.
So before he died, he gave instructions to his son, who was closest to him, that in the future, all of his riches and inheritance should be divided up among the greater number of sons.
Well, that's
the example or the story he told, but the meaning of it was.
Tung umadi kangrezina tini sanji gatani ta koranga chusone ta korang nyangan lendeje tani ta tal tani jabdugiyens tani inna tani koranga jamtela ti kapsa ta koranga jungna yongken gatani ti lomati solana ti koranga tani ko ungu gatani chu mambo tani ta chusola tani ta song char songsi chu mambo korang sola tini te song sar song se ta kyo te korang ga ta tomba korang ga kumdan la yong ken ga lo ma ti sola te ko sola tini chu mambo korang ga tini ta lo mambo la kyo sola chu mambo song yo res.
So the Buddha said this as he was preparing to pass into nirvana. He said to his closest disciples around him, I've given you a great number of teachings, I've taught you a lot of Dharma.
Yena teni to ta mo hachang mangboz tarong teni sanji ge chude teni nyan koso nyan ge teni to gorkub teni to tobyo maris.
But still, at that time, there were a lot of people who hadn't had the opportunity to hear the Dharma being preached.
Yina teni mambo teso tamchupo maombana kale koso yongne teni korangso yongne teni korangso la yang teni chunda korangso nyanje teni korkupto koso la yongres maombana.
But he said in the future there will be people who come to hear the Dharma, and they should have the opportunity in the future to hear it as well.
Teni koso teni the maombana koso la korkup yobi gimsung kang rezena teni sanji go sone teni mote so tamchupo teni korang rang teni ta yen hachang rambo lo hachang mambo la teni koso la ngama chewa ngama na la koso la chumambo shiani teni koso la yang teni soso go sem go na la teni saun pachak o teni te koso la jigore yena nerkers tarong koso yung teni chunyan je korko mayong re ta maombana sanji kongo teni soso go sem go na la teni saun tab teni shiopi jimsinji maombana koso ngiberte yone chunde teni nyangres.
So the important thing was to be sowing the seed in the consciousnesses of these people, so that perhaps at this point in time they might not be able to hear the Dharma or learn it, but in the future they certainly would.
Ta teni sanji ga teni kong teni ta nyanglen den ro res yena ta korang kong ko chuti teni ti kyorang so ta laglan jok yen teni maombi mute so te koso yongdi teni kong ko chuti yinda mera korang so laba na la yak pose teni strago so ne teni sombares.
And then the Buddha said, who he was preparing to pass into nirvana, was nearing this point, and he said, so now the job is in your hands to pass the Dharma on to the future generations of people who come to, who aspire to hear it.
That tinti indi terang achola tini pena murukaroyen nanda, nakboyen nanda, seroyen nanda, tani chik tini yayen nanda, poyen nanda, tani nipshokomayen nanda, korang sis yone ngala chul gozine korang tini lakba zinkin tini zgona, tinga so korang ga lakbi nala jok gogore, tinga so lengan res.
So similarly today, when there are all kinds of people, Tibetan people, Chinese people, Western people who want to hear the Dharma, indeed the responsibility of today is to pass these teachings into the hands of the people who want to hear it.
Teni te pechigre, teni pe nipati kangrezena, teni sanje ga sone, perna ta nyamat me dawa me, teni karma yang me pi nerkam sammu mannak. Oh, teni zika nala, teni mambo zika teni ta koso teni lam hajan ga nyenka chimbo, teni zika par teni ro gona, teni matsama ga lala, drumme me, lok, tati kapsi yo mata, drumme me, chichu me nazi. Mena mambo teni ta par ro gui kapsi, ti kapsi karte muchik lagna, teni marmen teni yo nazi.
The other example that he spoke of was a future day or at some point in time where there's no moon and there's no stars and there's no sun, there is no illumination, the world is cast into darkness, and people have to walk along a path, a road in great danger with no torch or no lantern to guide their way, that if just one person standing there held a lantern in their hand,
teni pena muschik lagla ti mahachang mambuti nana muschik la korang la teni lagbag nangla marme yona teni korang marme te la teni korang lamkha yakboz lagne teni korang teni lamchang nyengkha chan teni paro la teni thon sonasi tati muti teni karishe gorezi ti romete te kone teni sala yujak goreta karishe gorezi.
So if that person who was holding the lantern managed to traverse that dangerous road and reach the end of it, what should they do? Should they put it down? What should they do with the lantern then?
Tati kapsa ngarang so samlo tangna gandhi shego sare. Garti muti korang gata ngarang lagba nani rummen de la tene ngarang lamka yak boz laksong tan riksong samne te yujak goreta yana teni muti ti rumme te shersone mo jambate so la tak gores.
So, what do we think that person really should do? That having safely reached the end of this dangerous road from themselves, that they should, having reached the end of it themselves feeling happy, just put it down or cast it away, or should they pass it on to others?
Garti ti kapsatini muti khorang katini te lapa nala yo ti dome te teni khorang paror to son sarvi jis teni sala igine teni meba shejana teni mutsama ga samlo tana ta te ni digbore ni digjagre zini teni zekires.
Of course, if the person who reached the end of the road were just to throw it on the ground and do no more, then of course everybody would say that person's terrible and bad and evil.
Tani ta onati kandi che gore zena tani ngaso teram din nang la yong ken gam chama ga zena kandi samgere zena tani ngaso chama ga thumung de chigir ga gone ngaso chama ga oti mati tani marmite jambala tag gore ma to tani thangla igine mebashina tani ga mare ze ngaso chama te sam gre.
I think everybody here tonight would definitely be of the opinion that the thing to do would be to pass the lantern on to somebody else, and certainly not to fling it on the ground and destroy it.
This thing pejapa mare te saje pejapa pe ni po te saje rang song bare ndo na la yore.
Both of those examples are not my own personal examples. They're both examples or metaphors that the Buddha spoke of himself there in the sutras.
Ta tenji endi tene ta te pere teni don te kare zena don upo te khorang te pe te kari sha ke zena teni nga cho sangji ga song la lojong che teni sangji ga song la nyamlin che ne nga cho Gandhi she gozare, teni Gandhi shina teni ta demo tang kebo yonsare, Gandhi shina ngasola dengur yonsare, samjit teni ngaso hagoyo res. Teni hagoyo na, ta ngarang chipo hagoya te, jamba chigla mafshen ni, teni ngarang teni taga ta, jig chigla mafshen ni, teni shini nduna, teni ta ngaso pendat mus chigbo ti korang ka marme la teni, korang chi paro la son sarvi jis, teni marme tang la ikba tang, teni chigba res.
So it's really the same. What this example is really saying is that it's like us. If we study the Dharma, we study how to be happy, how to alleviate our suffering, benefit from the Dharma, but then enjoying the benefits that it brings us, don't pass that teaching or knowledge onto other people, then this is exactly the same as casting the lantern onto the ground and not concerning oneself about passing it on to others.
Tenji indi ta nga chogo ngarang chogo tini lama gwadran la tini nga chogo ta sangji chu gandhi drib go sare gandhi shina tharwa thop sare gandhi shina tini khorwa na la ro sare samji tini nga cho ha goyo res goyo na tini nga cho tini goyo pa te ta janla jeng go re te nga cho wungen res.
So our responsibility is with the great kindness of our teacher, knowing how to practice the Dharma, how to achieve liberation, how to transcend samsara. With this understanding, it's our responsibility to pass that on to others.
Tenji yendi teni nga cho yewa mambo shene pena teni chi teni ta nga cho chunda chigla vision chigla mojin tenji nga cho tenji yewa mambo shena.
So if we, bearing this in mind, if we decide to discriminate against who we are going to teach the Dharma to or who we're going to share it with and who we're not, discriminating between this person and that person, then this behavior or this stance is in direct contradiction with the commandment of the Buddha.
Tene sangji chung aranso soso tene chenpo shinanda chongchong shinanda aranso shiwa te ngaso simsim tamche pola jinya te tene ngaso rang tene lengen res.
So it's our duty, regardless of whether we only know a little Dharma or we know a lot, to pass that on to others.
Tene kyoranso tene soso tene toptang de kangrezena tene ta yayenanda poyenanda tene noshokomayenanda teni muru garoye na nakboye nanda musi nanda teni kyoran so toptang de kangrezena tang ngala teni sanji ge chute ngala go zeni kyoran so teni yongni sanji ge chute lensa yongje 교수 참말라디 톱탕도 요리.
So having just spoken about duty, what is the right of everybody here? What is your right? Well, your right is, regardless of whether you're Tibetan or Chinese or Western or whatever your background is, whether you're a white person or a black person, etc., your right is to request the teaching of the Dharma, to say, this is what I need to request this teaching. That is everybody's right.
Tini ti 톱탕도 교수라 스그 잡아래잖아. 나초 tini 교수라 톱탕도 잡아 말이 상지 좀 든데 랑거 참말라 톱탕도 짜요리.
And who was the grantor of this right, or who was the giver of this right? It was the Buddha and no one else.
Tini ending aso maungbana penalhakan dinjiga nala tini chushana tini aso mobayenanja 야연난자 너쇼고마연난자 탐시 용내 되니 창마가 디추 까르와 베나가서 고샤즈 잡아연나다 창마라 까르와티 요레데 까르와티 렌나 디 톱탕 수술라 요레데 상지 좀는데 공바담 텀바리.
So in the future, when everybody gathers in halls, Dharma centers like this, it's the right and prerogative of everybody, regardless of their background, to and without distinction, to request teaching of the Dharma.
Tani ngaso shusoko tolashanna benamur karoyna nohoyenanja tani chi sharshoko noshoko matinji ewa mangbo yorisi yinda benangaso hakang dinji zgnala yongni changman ndiktsawini kbna changman ramnimri titola yo kagayo mari.
So in everyday society, of course, there are so many distinctions and differentiations between all kinds of different people. But when we gather in a Dharma space like this, in an assembly hall or a shrine, then none of those differences or distinctions should make any difference whatsoever. And this is the equality that the Buddha speaks of.
Tani jamnim nipa de kanlezena namba sanji pagnala tani gewa margewa tani lejimde zene penanga so jakub ko tani chu chhamtawa tani tani to tan dandi shina geware dandi shina digbare on dandi shina yagbo yongore dandi shina digbo yongore zene tani koranga tani stadun tawa tani zutini talla phabyores gewa ch margewa ch tawa tani zawa tani lejimde tani yores.
What we just spoke about, the first kind of equality, the equality of everybody gathering in a Dharma space together, was the first kind of equality. The second kind of equality is the equality that exists in society in terms of laws that lay out what kind of behavior is virtuous, what kind of behavior is not virtuous, what kind of behavior will bring good results, bad results.
Then Tani soso rang tani lejimde thola sutung yakboshi tani gewa jib tani yakboshi na perna nangba la lojong shenken na tani korang deva chan landore higher landore ten rawaz ke yeshi chulgla tani lojong shenken zina tani korang higher landore muslim ke tani te chula lojong shenken zina korang higher landore chulu sudang sugna korang gewa jimken tani jam tamchi bola pamba dumkun ko musgna sina tani te korang ta higher landona da dewajan landona da tndo re ma to pati ngaso chulu khashis dewajan landore khashin ro marezi tinjo ewa maris.
So in terms of the principle of cause and effect, this applies to everybody equally, regardless of their religious view and their idea of where they're going to pass into after they die, whether that be heaven or pure land or...
Tani karti li jimde tela tani tsung yakpo mashini tani dugba murgiwa tani shinana tani nambala lojong shinken zigina tani ta higher landro tabko mare dewa jala che tabko mare ten was ko chulu jamba ina tani tabko mare te saman ramnimri.
So regardless of what one's religious faith is, if they don't adhere to the law of cause and effect as it pertains pertains to their religious tradition, whether it be a Buddhist and their idea of what results their virtuous behavior will bring, or a Christian who adheres to their particular idea of good behavior and the results that will bring, then the result is ultimately the same.
Then Tiyan sati tini namba sanji pa tawayin na pena tanga so namba la tini yichi shinkan tiso sama tini ta dewa chanlan rore ma to pa jamba thamshin ro mareze tini zeg mares.
From the Buddhist point of view, saying that, we Buddhists are going to go to, Amitabha's Pure Land and everybody else is not. This is not a proper view. So when we talk about equality in terms of the law of cause and effect, then this is the second kind of equality we're talking about. And the third kind of equality that we can talk about, that the Buddha spoke about, was that everybody, regardless of their own religious tradition, has their own particular set of values. So it's important that even if you're a Buddhist and you have a Buddhist faith and the desire to practice as a Buddhist, at the same time, it's very important to maintain respect of other people and their own religious faiths and traditions.
Tani karti pena moschi ko tini khorang ko nambala tini tapashing mundupa mundunkan tini zina tini ngaso kyo yinda manda ngaso nambala tapashi go zini tini ze choko mare ze tini zena ngaso tini shangship senhwa go tini shangship senhwa go domba dan gan ro res.
If, for example, there's a person who's not interested in believing in Buddhism or who's not interested in studying Buddhism, but we force it upon them that they do so, well, this kind of behavior is in contradiction with the Bodhisattva vow.
Tani karte korang ju chulu jamba tendizula teni ta tapashing go muyin nanja yana chulu gen nanja Deta kangtang kangla yana teni ta ngaso yakboyen teni ta kyoso digbore chuluk te digbore zene teni chiglang teni zechoko mare karti teni zena teni sanga ka domba trigba de langanro chigni sunje nga trigba de langanro res.
And similarly, by criticizing people of other religious faiths, saying, you're bad or you're inferior, insulting or disparaging people of other religious faiths, well, this is in contravention of the sixth tantric vow. Similarly, we Buddhists are all good and all those non-Buddhists are bad. This kind of way of viewing things is also not permissible. So this is the third kind of equality. So in keeping with these three kinds of equality, then people, whether they be Tibetan or Chinese or Westerner, regardless of their background, they need to proceed in accordance and in harmony with these three equalities.
Inching menching asola tapa chigo, Tindrian Zegmari, the Nikarte Tapa Shinkin, teni nga so tinala yewa mangbo shine teni ta chik teni chikaro nakpo teni yewa teni yang shega mari ti korang tapa shina shina cho ti ma shina chikla yang teni to indamanda shego zini teni zega mari teni ti nga so tsadun jis.
So our, the basic point is, or the basic principle, is really that it's not all right for us as Buddhists to inflict or impose our views on other people who are not interested in taking them on. Similarly, among those of us who do have Buddhist faith, to engage in all kinds of barrier making and discrimination and distinctions among Buddhists themselves is similarly not okay.
대인비 김선지 때니 가서 보크추 따와였나 되니 가서 잠발랑가 너블라였나자 잠발랑가 샬라였나자 되니 보 마인비 사차장 바강당 강란조나 가서 사네 것더니 뭐 거랑서 것더니 답바데라 되니 빼메바 거랑서라 진족 제거래서 가서 시 고거래 때 가서 짜둔데.
So it's a basic duty of Buddhists to be respectful of the religious tradition and beliefs of other people around us in the societies in which we live.
Tani karte koranso tani ramu gone tani ta tabashin tani yonana tani ngaso tinala chik tinala yong chok chik tinala yong mechok tani yewa kage meba tani changmala ngaso gapsije gore teya ngaso tsadun chigri.
Again, it's our basic duty to welcome all people who are interested or who aspire to learn the Dharma. It's not okay to be partial in terms of who we welcome and who we don't. Everybody needs to be welcomed similarly.
Teni tenji insarti teni terang tawala ina nga sundi nala teni yayin na re teni boyin na re teni nabshokoma ina tsamayona nga so garsi yongin zibi gimsen tenri.
So this is the reason that tonight we welcome everyone, regardless of whether they're Chinese, Tibetan, or Westerner. These principles of equality are the basic foundation of that.
Teni ramnim chenpo sum zeyate teni nga so namba nane teni nangtun hajang kar cheshu zre teni te tsama hako gores.
Everybody needs to know that these three great equalities are a very important part of Buddhism.
Ta teni nga so terang ka teni shuchat teni taga ta ngon zane teni shakiyins.
And from here we will begin with tonight's teaching.
Teni tomar sosogo teni samba shangshim chokta sim shangshim chokta simkit gores.
First of all, may everybody please generate in their hearts bodhicitta.
Tani shangshim chokta simkit ziyati kangriz glata zegre zena dondag ni changgore chakin ni yogore.
In order to do this, in order to generate bodhicitta, there are two conditions.
Tani chakin ni de kangre zena dambote ngazo terang de la chujia yongwi tini chujiwi tini yong chujiwi tini muirte kangre zena tani ngazo 심신 탐질랑이 판바치게연 심신 탐질라 tini 판토야가 레까지 tini 레게연 심신 탐질라 등으로메야가 tini 레까지 tini 레게인 삼네 돈다 담보티 차킨 담보티 대요고레 망신 오마티 테레스.
So the basic foundation of the first condition is that we proceed with the aspiration, the motivation of being here tonight, that we are able to, or we aspire to, benefit all beings, that all beings obtain happiness and that all beings find relief from suffering.
Tani 심신 탐질라더니 또 판접 접제나 당가서 따르당가서 라티 딘디 니바침보 요 말에가 쫓질라요 말에.
In terms of benefiting all beings, well, perhaps at the moment our capacity to do so is not particularly great.
And
if we don't have this capacity, well, then what do we need to do? What should we do? we need to fervently make the aspiration that we achieve Buddhahood, and we can achieve Buddhahood in order to benefit all beings.
Tani shanship sim zia de nga zo kha tini shana ha jang le hla bore.
Of course, it's very easy to just say bodhicitta.
Ni ma to yo mare taringe kona sha pateri ni ma to yo mare ha jang le hla bore.
It's just a one word. It's very easy to pronounce, a few syllables.
Yena nga so uni tane khayu lagayo ko thone nyamlin shi guna ti ha jang le hla bo mare.
But in actual fact, to put it into practice, to actually practice bodhicitta is something quite entirely less easy.
Te le labo marita yena nga so karti lo chik sem chik tone tene te shawa te drimna tene sawa ni mandrya tin yang mare.
Even though it is not easy, even though it is difficult, if we devote ourselves to this single-mindedly, then it is not something that is beyond us either.
Tene nga so jangmu shana se yana nguni shana nga so muschik mase nang la tene shanship ko sem ti gomba gomya tele karchewa ga shawa jan chikchi yo mare.
To really to speak to the heart of the matter, apart from meditation on bodhicitta and practicing bodhicitta, there is nothing more important in our lifetimes.
Tani suso samlo tana ngaso machine dinang la tani nguni tane dondang damba tang tani hajang ga rentang yo ba da gang re samne samlo tana ta nga chu ndri sinin zumu zugsa tinji rakgona hajang khak bores rak mares.
In fact, if we try to identify something in our lifetimes that's more important than working on cultivating bodhicitta, it's extremely difficult to identify anything.
Tini nga cho tirip jogba, tirip judunba, tini to tirip jilgba, tinji nangla nga cho mamangpo zak chapar ta nfshok mo so shisa, mamangpo zak samlo tangna, tini nga cho demo tang kepo ziate. Tani ta ngubo nani tani yongre samne shiro ko ngubo longsho ko nani yongre ta pamjur yarji tangore samne tani mse muyirti tere samne mambo zak tani khag shayang shari yige tebyang mambo triyore te chama ga tani basu yang shari.
In the West, from the 17th to the 19th centuries in particular, there was a great feeling, a very popular idea and sentiment that the way for us to achieve happiness was through material ends. And indeed, many books have been written about this. So much has been spoken about it. The idea that happiness is to be obtained through the material world.
Tani tika sangaso tani sambatela tani khagyo mareze maybe Jameson chireze na tika sangaso zambolong ka shar nab chama horboreze tenga so jirji mambo yo mareze maybe kapsa tani ngaso tani yona ta ngaso ke boyon sare samne tani samre jirji longsho tela ngaso tani chaji mado pamjola chaji yo mare chaji meiti tani ngaso tani to pamjol yona ta ngaso demo ke boyon sare samne tani manam gi tani samgare te khagyo mare te samlo yonse marmamba samlo yarjin ro mate pi samlo tindizres.
Well, of course, this kind of idea was completely understandable in a situation where these kinds of ideas and this kind of vision is unrealized, that people don't have familiarity with what that state would actually be like. Then this kind of idea that happiness could or should be obtained through these means is reasonable or understandable.
Tadini ngato terang tirem ni shi tsachi pa nang la yong ta shir tana tani pamjur doso ina tendi ge tini ha chang ge karchim bo tang ran thang dam ba tendi wa maim ba ti shimkhang ge mo ni ores mo ni ge ti shin do se
shinkin suri
mo ni shinkhang ge ran ba jin to sha kre.
Oh yeah. Now, in the 21st century, turning back and looking back on history as it has unfolded, there are two kinds of people, or two people who know that this kind of endeavor, the energy and endeavor that was put into economic development and achieving happiness through the material world, in fact, is not that important, or is in fact not to be valued in such a way. Oh, okay. So one of the one of the people who knew this was in fact the Buddha, who knew it over 2,000 years ago. And then the second kind of, or the second person who also knew or realized the futility of this kind of endeavor was in fact not actually one individual, but many, many people. For the sake of convenience, Khenpo speaks about it in terms of one person, but is in actual fact those people in the West who are extremely well off, who are extremely fortunate, who are extremely rich. And likewise, it's not just now people from the West who have gained this realization, but increasingly people all over the place, people in the East too. Gradually, more people are coming to a similar realization. And except for these two people, or the Buddha and all of those others, there are still lots of people who haven't come to this realization. Lots of people who really don't know the futility of this kind of lifestyle. In fact, there are lots of people who still very much strive towards obtaining lots of wealth, a car, a great big house. But those people who have already arrived there, those people already have these things, a big fancy car and a fancy house as well. Many of them are able to, having arrived, turn and look back with some kind of perspective. So even though now looking back 250 years after the Industrial Revolution and all of the effort and struggle and work and toil that people have invested over the years subsequent, looking back on it to see whether it has generated happiness, whether happiness has occurred as a result of this.
Koranso yarje song chankan tesono tinala nyambo munduk samne tap shukchini mariung gundu yena ngacho tarung tila mahle patsu tarung yarteni jigne teni jikioreta jigna yang thar tenita yarje song sarwi mteda ka chorwa teda ka nyamnyong tawre tonji tone ngaso nguni tani msega nyambo zindi ngubo nani ni guna ni thap ko mare rak thap ko mare.
So with the exception of those people who have, been able to obtain a particular standard of affluence and are able to look back with this perspective and appreciate the lack of value in this kind of existence, there are really still so many people who are striving and struggling and really orienting themselves to this kind of these objectives.
Tani kaja tinrade ngaso lo nigya kong lo samja kong la shanana tani chama yichi maris.
If we were to have said this, that there is in fact little value in this kind of vision, in these kind of values, if we were to have said this 200 or 300 years ago, then nobody would have believed it.
Tani terang ngaso kaja tinri shana mamambus ko te re samne te koranso te semla te re samne kelen rores.
But today, when we say this, there are in fact many people who realize the truth of this kind of insight. Still, really, in terms whether there are a lot of people who accept this, perhaps there still aren't a lot of people who accept it, but gradually there will be more and more people who come to view this as an accurate assessment or evaluation of the state of things. Yeah, and the point that we come to understanding this is when we've obtained this big car and when we've obtained this fancy house, then we're at a point where we are able to appreciate this insight. However, nevertheless, this life of ours is extremely short. When given the shortness of our lives, we don't, in fact, have so much time if we're going to be doing a bit of this over here, doing a bit of that over there, pursuing this path for a while, then changing to that path, engaging or indulging in all kinds of choices. We actually don't have that much time to be doing this. So it's very important that we choose one path and that we proceed in that path. And what is that one path that we should follow? What is that one path that will bring us happiness, bring happiness to ourselves, and bring happiness to others? That path is the meditation on bodhicitta. And that's the reason why today we are going to talk about bodhicitta. So given that generating bodhicitta, given that bodhicitta is in fact so important, what we're going to talk about tonight is how to practice meditation on bodhicitta. In terms of talking about the method of meditation, it's not something that I've cooked up in my own mind and fabricated myself. Perhaps you might think that if I tell you about, or if I teach you about this method of meditation tonight without basing it on a scripture or a written teaching, you might think that it is in fact something that I have made up myself, but this is not the case.
Tani kangsha karizina nge ngaranga lamadang, tani lama ga lamadang. O tani shini nga so lo tongcha ni da ngabja nang la, tani kharshok mo tani gyartong chamba mambo ko koso nyamyung de tani samala sha kayens.
So what I am teaching you tonight is the teaching and experience of my teacher and my teacher's teacher and my teacher's teacher's teacher, and in fact a lineage of teachings that goes back 2,500 years to the Buddha.
That na shangship ko semzeyate hajang ga rolap chebo tani korang cham thombo tani re ngarang cho ta sar ga nga cho tani lojong shenken tani zla sonna nga cho parta hajang rambures.
When we talk of bodhicitta, it's such a mighty and glorious thing. Where we are presently, there seems and in fact is a great distance between this really wonderful and mighty qualities and our present state.
Yena teni kyaran su samna ta shangship ko semzeyate tenji kamozre ta ngi resa mare ngi thosa mare ta ngi ta ti gumma gu yo sa mare samni teni sam go mare.
However, notwithstanding this, if we think, oh, well, if it's that difficult, then if it's that difficult to obtain, I'm never going to get there. It's so far away from me. Well, I'm not going to practice it. In fact, this is something that we absolutely must not think.
Ta nga so ngi yung ko mare ngi thosa mare ngi ta teni nyamli shina shi thoki mare ngi dribji mare teni sam duk ki tela teni nga so chu na ni samlo ta na ta tela yang hajang ga ta lelo ze machina ta gangstar teni to rang ga rang la ja zbi ze rang ga rang lam thong shong she ni teni ta teni she so na ta nga so chu yang drib ko mare jitin teni pe na chong ze jab go na ten drib ko mare ka drib ko mare.
If we think that it is so far away from us, it's something we're never going to be able to obtain or we're never going to be able to cultivate, this is in fact a very lazy attitude, and not just a lazy attitude, but also an attitude of quite some self-inferiority. And it's really manifesting almost an inferiority complex that. And if we really think like this, then not only are we not going to be able to achieve the generation of bodhicitta, we really won't be able to do anything in life.
Tani kanti sam go re zena ta nga cho shangship ko semzea de kamu khabu re yinna yang ta nga yanchu la nga cho mo gyartong chambam tanji mambo samji ma ba mambo ga yang shangship ko sem gum ni khorang cho ya bo tani ta shangship ko sem njib o tani rendo te ngyang te re jre. So
what we do need to think is that even though it is difficult, it is a difficult goal, it is a difficult objective to commit ourselves to, we need to really generate confidence in the knowledge that there have been hundreds and thousands of people who have gone before us who have managed to attain this and who have managed to generate bodhicitta.
Tani ta shangship ko semzea de gangze gre zena nga so gongde shapa nangjin re ta nge nima derang ne tani nge semchen tamchil la tani phamba drib ko yinse semchen tamchil kang re zena ta nga so more tani tandro re aya tanji tang tani pe na nga so chulu ko nang le na ta nga so nang ba yin na ja tani yishi chulu nyamlin shin kan yin na ja tani di muslim ko chulu nyamslin kan shin na yin na ja de mayen ba nga zo lo mi chulung jamra mangbo yore de nyamlin shin kan yen nanja de mayen ba pe na teni ti ngsu ta lamit teni shem kan yen nanja mo chama la teni nge phamba drup ko yin samni to teni sam go res.
And what we do need to think, how we do need to cast our aspiration is that from this day onward, I am going to benefit all beings being people, being animals, being all sentient beings, regardless of their religious belief or their caste or their background or creed, etc., all living beings, similarly and likewise, I am going to be of benefit to.
Ta tenji ge samlo te nga cho tangrib ke mozla samlo pe jana halipa khakbore se yimbi jimsang kare re na ngarang cho te ni ta lobja chungrim lobja mjangrim tani lobja chembore to cho chama ga na la nga cho loso tani nyamsun yong de ya loso te mangchewa ti na la gari ja ge ore se na ngarang rang de ni gurmu mambo rathab ngarang rang yak bo yong ya tani ngarang rang de mo ke bo yong ya tinti tak tak la nga cho lo jong che ge ore tinti yendi tinti ge ka sa nga cho loso te tinti yen charti tani nge ngarang par jerne nge simchen la phamba drop ke tinti ge samlo te nga cho lang khur gona te kak bo yore.
Why is, in fact, the idea that we are going to benefit all beings quite difficult, in fact, extremely difficult for people in this modern age to really generate and commit themselves to? The reason is that from primary school through to high school and beyond, we're really inculcated with the idea that our lives should be about benefiting ourselves, whether it be succeeding in our careers or getting lots of money. And then the idea that we should put this all aside, put our self-interests and our own goals aside and work for the sake of others is in fact something with quite some degree of difficulty.
Tani nga so tangrib ke mozla ya nge tani chulu yewa me pa tani chokchak ko tani chi te simchin ko ramba tandro ta mo yewa me pa tani chi tani jarkub ko tani jansam ko yewa me pa tani ji ko ni nge simchin thamchu pola nge phamba drib go tani sam go re zena tani mambu z ko tani simchin thamchu pola nge phamba drib go jimsang kari nge te sola tani phamba tani drib go jimsang gang re zeni te jimsang te la samlo tang je ma to tani nge ngone tani go re samne tani samkan ta nyung re.
Really, the number of people who were able to cast the aspiration and really be able to believe that I want to or can benefit all beings regardless of their backgrounds and their distinctions, and without differentiating between humans and animals, and then among animals, between animals themselves. People who are able to do this are in fact very, very rare, very, very few.
Tani tinji goni jimsan tani ta jimsan kare zini ta yongdi tani nga so karte sangji shakya tapa go lopso tani ze mena nga so me mambo zo jimsan kan ha ko yo mares.
The reason with so many people really not knowing the reason why they should in fact orient themselves towards benefiting all beings, without the Buddha's teaching, in fact, it's very difficult for people to understand why.
Tani nga so jimsan moko ai nga so ti jimsan te rak nyek mandu si te manye pi jimsan kan re zena te nga so mukum thongje tani nga so na wa tu je nga so sem ge shi ji de shivsha de nga so nyung ma to tani shi yo ma nga so mukti tani thong ma tong thong mandu nga so na wa ti tani ta nyung ma to ba tani ta go yo ma re tani nga so sem de ge yang ti jikting ge tani te lo ji nyung ma to tani shi yo ma re ti nyung ti nang la tani nga so jimsan kan re zena nga so jimsan nye ge yo ma re manye pi jimsan de nga so shisha mambo zo me shi jimsan ji re.
So the reason that we're not able, or many people are not able to understand why they should benefit all beings, is that everyone, or really everyone, is extremely constrained by what they are able to know. They're constrained by the limits of what their eyes can tell them and their ears can tell them and what their brains are able to concern. In fact, what they can understand are just patches here and there on a greater map. They're unable to, of their own selves, obtain an understanding of the reason for why they should be benefiting all beings.
Tene nga so shangship ko sim zeyate gang rezena di shangship ko sim te la tinni nga ran so samlo la jangjor tango res.
Jangjor.
Jefang.
Oh yeah. Sula tini jefang tango.
Samlo jangjor tango res.
Oh yeah. So what we really need to do is liberate our own minds, our own thoughts on this matter.
Tani country changro tango orizina ta nga yenchula nga su chama te ngara rang ton ta la sam no tang ne tani nga demo country yo nga kibo country yo tani sam lo tang gare ta nga yenchula demo kibo
Yeah.
ngara rang demo ngara rang kibo tani yong ya ga ton la tani nga su sam lo tang gare
Samgayuri.
te nga su ta nga yenchu tani chang sam go yoris.
Oh, okay. Previously, I thought solely about my own happiness and about my own success. That is what I did in the past.
Tani ta panchoni nga so tani te par jang ni ta panchoni nga so ta rang yang demo kyopo yung go re te ya jamba tam che pon tani demo kyopo yung go re samne tani nga so mo yin na ja chokcha yin na ja tani tam che pola demo kyopo yung ya dongda la tani samlo tang go re te la nga so nangba ga chani shen na te la samlo jangdur je gre.
But from here on in, even though, yes, I do require my own measure of well-being and happiness, nevertheless, I'm going to work for the benefit of all beings, for their happiness and for their well-being. Well, this is what we mean by Buddhist liberation, or liberation in Buddhism.
다 딘디가 드니 삼로테 가솔라 란상 드니 요르고나 하자 갑보리 요 말이다 옛나양 드니 가서 심캄 그토라 드니 용더스타야가 드니 탑시 때라 땐나 드니 그 삼로테 가서 갈래 드니 테 삼로테 가서 심라 드니 다 끼용 그래서 상집 그 심디 끼용 그래서
It's quite difficult for us all of one sudden to be able to generate this kind of state of mind or aspiration. So what we need to do is to train our minds to develop means, strategies for being able to gradually cultivate this aspiration and quality.
다든지 그 탑시대 가서더니 뭐 그추고 나라였나 더니 할리바 망보는 도지티 탑시대 할리바가 망보 야침보 더니 답데보 더니 장장 다든지 뭐 그추고 나라였나 더니 가서지 영마였나 게르였나 사자였나 더니 과지였나 강당강였나 더 참마 어떻게 추고 나라 디 탑시대 하장 망보 요레스
strategies or methods to train ourselves in being able to generate this kind of aspiration. There are so many in the Tibetan religious tradition. All kinds of convenient and easily practiced methods, vast methods, clever methods, regardless of, within all of the different schools and lineages of Tibetan Buddhism, teachings on this are something the Tibetan religion is very rich in. And today, what I'm going to introduce to you is of all of these different means and methods that exist, just one of them. And the method I'm going to teach you tonight is the most convenient, the most easily understood, the most easily practiced, a method that doesn't have a great deal of elaborateness, a very wonderful, convenient method that is easy to put into practice. So even though it's an extremely convenient kind of practice, if we're really able to apply ourselves to it properly, then it is an absolute guarantee that we will be able to generate bodhicitta within our mind streams. So the basis of this method that we need to proceed is the Four Immeasurables.
tela nyarji se gres.
So, in terms of the four immeasurables, the first is compassion. And what is compassion? It's the really strong and heartfelt aspiration that all living beings be free from suffering.
Teni ti nyarji re, teni chad me pa se ati kang re jena, teni nga cho ti nyarji ti pena nge apa ti teni dungur me pa re sona, nge ama ti re sona, nge nduruk ti re sona, teni nge boda bomo ti re sona, nge chokbu ti, teni sam teni changma ma re jen, nge simchin tamchit, teni chokchak yin nan ja, teni tamchit teni re sona, teni dungur me pa teni re sona sam na, teni ta chad me re, ti chad me se goya jimsen ti simchin lan tayo ma re, simchin chad me pa re, simchin tamchit la teni 그 samlo te par gyachimbo teni shina, teni te la chad me pa se gare, nyarji tang chad me zeni, teni ni te jaga ma re se, nga zo nyarji yang yin la, chad me pa yang yin ba, teni se la samlo tang go re.
And when we talk of immeasurable, what we're talking about is the fact that this aspiration needs to be cast by ourselves to all sentient beings. So our wish is not just that our own fathers or our own spouses or children or loved ones obtain this liberation from suffering and great happiness. No, it's the desire, it's the aspiration that all living beings obtain this great result. So when we talk of the immeasurable nature of the four immeasurables and compassion, there's absolutely no contradiction between them. They go completely together.
Teni nga zo pena chadme pa mayin ba de kan dizela se gre na, ta pena nga zo bonja bo teni dizela samlo tana na, ta nge apate teni ta demo ke bore sona sam. So what
would be the opposite of immeasurable? I suppose measurable. That would be the idea or the hope, the wish that my own father obtains great happiness and comfort and well-being, or my own mother obtains this. This would be a partial kind of practice or aspiration.
Teni gyanja o yin na teni ta apata ama yang sam gre ta tele gyang teni ngi pudo yang pozre sona ngi pomo de teni te dungur me pa dre sona sam ni teni sam gre ta te chap me pa je mare te chatam je pa teni re je nyar ji te.
So that last aspiration that one's own mother and father be well and be happy, Kempo was talking about this being a Tibetan version of a compromised version of a compromised aspiration. Perhaps a Chinese person who was being non-immeasurable in their aspiration would be wishing for the well-being and happiness of their own sons or daughters.
아파다 아마당이 보다 본모양 삼고요지리 뒤돌랑이 큐도 약보레 소나 이 릴리즈더니 등을 매바딘들이 소나 삼나 대 사당 제바레스.
So even though Kempo doesn't have a great familiarity with the partialities of Western people, he thinks that it might be, in addition to wishing their own mother and father are well and happy, and in addition to wishing the same for their own children, they also wish the same for their own dog.
다들 가서 수소가 강 다량자 배나 가서 아파 아마인 난자 가서 보인 난자 되는 가서 키우다 릴리인 난자 대 정말 심신이 가서 강라 가나요 초콜릿.
Of course, all of these people, all of these subjects, whether they be our parents or our children or our pets, etc. Yes, of course, they're all living beings, and they are all people and things we love and like.
강tar tini dindig nyarji de tini ta nga cho hajang ka chat chungchung kyabgya chungchung zere tini te pap garni te chat te pap garni simchen tamchu samji gore ma tong nge apa ama chigbo samna jigyo mare tini nge bodang bomo samna jigyo mare tini nge khodang tini ta jimu tini samna jigyo mare simchen tamchu dungor dang meba tini zere na samna tini ta zo tela sammeba tini zegres.
So even though we of course we like and love and feel great attachment to our parents and our children, our dogs, etc. This is a very restricted, a limited, a small kind of aspiration. And what we need to do is to make that aspiration bigger, much more vast, so that it extends to all living beings, in the hope, in the great wish that they be free from suffering.
니바데 강레즈나 샴바레즈 샴바즈야데 강레즈레즈 심춘 탐쳔 어야 더니 데와당 담바 다다리 가서 공도 등을 메나제나 향지레 더니 참마 데모다 께보다 아 더니 가서 베나 출국군이잖아 가서 남바였나자 예시 추바였나자 더니 무슬림 그 추바였나자 더니 가서 하메 나와다 우수바였나자 더니 지금 방바가 돈에 머리 방바 남보제나 새로제나 가로제나 자 더니 심진 탐셔대 용수 조바데 데모 께보 더니레송나 삼네더니다 코랑가 셈거 땅네더니 삼나 더니 데라 데 샴바 참밋 더니제 그레스.
So the first of the four immeasurables was compassion. The second, loving kindness, is, well, the wish or the aspiration of compassion is that all living beings be without suffering. And the aspiration behind loving kindness is that all living beings, regardless of their class or creed or skin color, etc., all living beings have happiness and the causes for happiness. This is the aspiration of loving kindness.
Tenite nibare tasamba gawa chamezati kandirezenam perna namginina tini ngarancho dangacho de ngarancho ji nye sanja bonja bomoja pamanda tindisla demo ki boyona ngacho ga teni mo jambazala demo ki boyona ngacho ji gayang marga dugang marga kapkapse tarong mo jambala teni demo ki boyona ngacho semganala margaya tendi yongorezi namgin ngacho tendizre.
And then the third of the four immeasurables is joy, or is, yes. And what we're talking about here is,
ngacho namginina ngacho muziate kandizrezena pena ngacho rang soso rang te apa amayena ta pubumoyena te tisola demo ki boyona ngacho ga. Tani jambatsola demo ki boyona ngacho jimurga ta tarung kapkapse tani jambala demo ki boyona ngacho semganala murgawa tendi yongoreze namgin ngacho muziate tendizrez.
Our general state of being is that we wish happiness and well-being for those who are close to us, and for those who aren't, have, well, indifference, or even in some cases a desire for them not to have happiness and well-being.
Tani ta panchuni tendiz mayimba tani ngacho ranga susuranga pama pogo yinanja te mayimbi mojamba yinanja musatang slayan tani demo tang kepo tendi yona tele jande perna stanja zonja tani ngacho chokchak shanja shinja tendiz gina korangla demo kepo tendi yona semkanala gamu yone o ta korangla yabu yongndo tani te korang tan tendi muntni korang demo kepo yona tani samni semganani tendi sem
So what joy is the wish that all people, regardless of whether they're the ones close to us, our relatives and friends, or they're people that we don't know or don't like, it's the wish that all people, regardless of who they are, or all beings, including animals of all different shapes and sizes and everything else, that they be well, obtain happiness, do well. This fervent wish is what we refer to when we speak of the immeasurable of joy.
Teni te sambare ta jepati tanyum zegre teni tanyum zeyati penangaso teni gawa inna de shamba inna teni simchin tamche polan jamnim gugoni simchin tamche teni ta dewa dang damba dang teni dungri inna ta simchin tamche dungar mepa samni teni par chamnim gugoni shugri mepa gugoni teni samna teni tela tanyum zegre tanyum chame zegre.
And when we speak of the fourth immeasurable of equanimity, what we're talking about is the great wish that all people, with utterly no partiality whatsoever, all living beings, in fact, be well, be happy, be free from suffering. This is what we talk about with the fourth immeasurable.
Ta jibu de la kosu susu la deni rang deni gumlu deni to jondr shilu manjawa jiores.
And with these four immeasurables, we have four different kinds of meditational practice or method.
Deni ti jibu di nani so chishu de hajang gar chishu di gangrezena deni nyangjin de nyangjin de yo sona yamba tanche yo yong gre.
And within these four methods, the most important of them all is that of compassion. If we can accomplish this practice, then all of the others will also ripen as a matter of course.
So today
we're not going to talk about all four of the practices. We're going to focus on the practice of the meditation on compassion. So within the different practices on compassion, the different meditations on compassion, of which there are many, tonight we're going to focus on the teachings within the lineage of Palchu Rinpoche. So what's really important to start off with this is that we have an understanding of what other living beings, what the nature of their suffering is, how they suffer. It's very important that we have an understanding of this. A lot of people have a fairly clear idea of their own suffering, but don't have much understanding or insight into the suffering of others. For example, a rich person, a person with great wealth, probably has not much idea of the suffering of poor people, or those who do have an understanding of it are probably very few indeed. And similarly, those in society with position and power and influence probably have very little understanding of those in society who are powerless and without privilege and all kinds of prerogatives that those in power enjoy. And in terms of humans, in fact, we have very little understanding of the suffering of animals, what the nature of their suffering is. We don't understand it, and we don't think about it in many situations very often. So not only do we not think about the suffering of animals, but humans have even written all kinds of treatises that deny the suffering of animals, including, for example, things that were written by the philosopher Descartes, etc.
Teni mo wangcha yung kan so wangcha mepa so teni dungur de ha mago wa ti thone teni ngara chola jamnyim mayim batang teni dungur mambo ti thone shongores.
And in fact, the source of great suffering is that the very fact that humans don't know or understand the suffering of animals, that those with all kinds of power and privileges don't understand the nature of the suffering of those people who don't, that the wealthy and very affluent don't understand the suffering of those who are in poverty.
오르 남기 등을 강정한 코랑 mambo 삼로 당야대 하정 그 가르침 보래 되니 왕차 용큰 톱탕 용큰 된디지겠나 되니 수속고 돌아 왕차 멤바 톱탕 멤바 문냠총 때서 되니 등을 강인 대 코랑 그 삼로 당야대 가르침 보래 아전 로아 미르라 있나 되니 가서 멀리 냠총와 그더니 럼바치고 마와 그더니 등로다 때서 등을 강인라 삼로 mambo 당야 대 가르침 보래.
So what's really important is that those who are extremely wealthy and affluent really think about and investigate, come to understand the nature of those who are poor. Similarly, those who have great power and influence think about and come to understand the nature of the suffering of those who don't. And that human beings, we come to understand and have have insight into the suffering of animals and all of those kinds of creatures that seem to exist below us.
담도 드니샤나 노처 드니샤나 가서 뭐 인난자 쪽착 인난자 잠바 남기 등물라 삼로 mambo 당야테 자와 나 치슈디 데레스.
So the really essence or the core of this practice is that humans or people in positions of relative ascendance really think about and attempt to understand the suffering of others.
Tanita ngacho perna semchen chokchag nanja perna nyachig nanja sha nanja tani jamba gatan roz nanja tanjiga perna jamba nam gatini saya ta perna ju perna shira ya tu zai chang zi ro ba o tanjiga nala yong kan ge semchen nanja de parchi ngacho mambo zi kan thong mare ta ina ta karte perna ngacho sharshok ta we na ngacho tani dumchum chomman yosa gatini chongra ya cai shi chang 어디 나라더니 샘제 mambo 더니 사야 더니 요리지 더니 너쇼라 요다면 하고 메 강터 더니 그 샘제 찍라 더니 가서 언니 그따니 더니 삼로 당고 오레스.
So what's important is that we obtain knowledge through our own personal experience, with our own eyes, our own personal experience, the knowledge of the suffering of other beings, whether it be a bird or a fish or those animals who are facing death in the slaughterhouse or in the different markets and things like that. Kemple's not sure about the situation in the West, but certainly in China this is the case. It's very important that people with their own eyes come to face this suffering and gain an understanding of it.
Teni ngaso namjing ngaso kandirezena teni shira nang nanja teni chomap chongsa nang la nanja teni shatang pagdang nyadang deso koso saya ge semshin deyena koso su jimba teni semshin desola ngaso sama ga tando ke marezi ngaso tando sa de gangrezena teni ne kwarancho gangze chaoji sichang la gangze ge oya 超市了，地拿了有把个，等你下一那，他们要不要那要啥，等俺就单独个的。
In fact, we don't often want to see these things. We don't want to see the suffering pigs or fish or birds in the markets. What we do want to see, and what we do see, is the cleanly packaged meat that we find in our supermarket freezer sections.
옛날 나저 보고 때니 고치 총강제 그래超市 디나라 용큰 그때 샤데라 때니 콜라 땀깃망보다 콜라 로지망보요 그래 대소 가서 상마가 따고 말이 삼고 말이.
So when we encounter this cleanly and nicely packaged meat in the supermarket, we don't think much about the history, what the chain of events and circumstances that have gone into this fact of this piece of meat that we're finding in the supermarket. We don't think much about the background, about its history. So not only do we not think about it, it doesn't come to us to think about it, we also don't want to think about it. What this is an avoidance of reality. From a Buddhist point of view, it's absolutely vital that we do think about this, that we don't avoid this reality. It's extremely vital that we see with our own eyes and don't avoid the most frightful suffering that animals, in fact, have to go through. So, for example, the knife that pierces the stomach of the fish, or the cutting off of the bird's head, or the various other kinds of horrible methods through which pigs, for example, are killed. It's not viable. It's not okay for us to turn away and say, oh, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to see it. I like eating my meat. No, it's important that we as Dharma practitioners really come face to face and confront this suffering.
Tani tandi simchin de chochang de tani korang ta langsang tani ta mojamba ga tani sakreze tani sanna korang ta sem go tola njita tani lipo go tola dungur halipa tani chembo ta yungre tena korang tani juna na tosayo mare tani korang kan thamna na mannamla tani thapthap ko mare tani korang inda manda tani dungur chembo tani nyong ni ta tan ro gore samni ta te sem go nala sam gore.
And what we do need to think in this very moment is that this animal, that this creature, this living creature, is on the absolute cusp of being killed, and at this point must be feeling such intense terror and fright. They've got no way to escape. There's no other place that they can go to. There's no other fate for them. We really need to think about and understand, confront the terror, the sheer terror and fright of living creatures who are at this point. And at this point, when we're watching them, it's not as if we're watching a movie. It's not as if we're watching a play. We're a spectator on the side, a bystander. No. What we do need to think is, imagine if that living creature right now were me.
Ya yana garti nyande teni ngaranga apa inna ngaranga ama inna teni kantindu samne te samgores.
Or what if that living creature right now were my father or my mother?
Teni ngaranga apa inna ama inna ngarang rang inna teni nge muschila yang teni noban ki me muschila yang teni mamthamba lega na kang li yomarita yena teni mujamba teni zanshi ko ni zawang ko ni teni ta ngan teni shini teni sut 직계라 접속 딘디시나 다 간디엔 사리 삼니 대삼고 그랬어.
아, 연재 지소나 좋게 보다.
양치치샤나 간디 레스나 되니 다 가르테 되니 다 나랑랑 있난자. 되니 나랑가 아파 있난자, 아마 있난자. 되니 무잔라 노파치요 마레 무잔라 멘텀바가 레카카 길레요 마레다 이나 잠바가 되니 코랑가 되니 저 왕식 거니 되니 잠보 거니 다 길라 야나 냥나라 딘디시나 당가 간디엔 사리 등물 간디즈고 사리 삼네 대삼고 그랬어.
So really what we need to think about at this point is, regardless of whether it were me or my mother or father, whoever it was, what would I do? What would it be like at this point when a knife is about to be driven into my stomach or my head's about to be cut off? To really sympathize, empathize, to think very, very, to really attempt to understand in a very visceral way what the nature of this experience would be.
Yana Tanita, Nyayana, Shayana, Pagina, Di, Narango Puyina, Narango Pumutina, Tandina, Narango Puda, Narango Pumuti, Muzala, Nopa, Leka, Kakimale, Korang, Tendi Deo Capsa, the name Muzambazikati, Koranga Kela Tripsini, Yanala Tripsini, Koba Kala Tindishina, the Kandians are Samni, the Nindanga Goris.
Or think or contemplate, what would it be like if that animal, that fish or that bird or were my own son or my own daughter that was about to have its stomach cut or its heart pierced or its neck stabbed? What would I do? What would that be like?
Yana tani nyayena shayena the ngarang chutiena ngarang tani jum shila kondwa oya They nothing it Naranga Chitty Mozella no Panashio Mare, Naranga Tinita, Shila, the Mozan Sutila no Pamasina, Mozambaz Yoni, Naranga Chotini, Kitchana, Tini, Yanala Trigamna, Tini, Tindishona, the Kantian Sare, Samni, the Rangasano Tangoris.
Or, my own son or daughter, as we've just said, or even still my own dog. What if it was my own dog and someone else was to come along and just to come along and to inflict great harm in one of these terrible ways on my own dog? What would that be like? What would that feel like? What would that kind of suffering be?
Nyayena, Shayena, Simjin Tisotini, Dumur Kosola, Gandiyote,
and by thinking like this and by contemplating like this, we will be able to generate an understanding of the kind of suffering that other living creatures, particularly animals, go through.
Nyayena, Shayena, Tini, Garton, Chumbum, Tinti, Mambozu Sakayona, Masu Mukantona, and Masu Simla Toragayo Maris, Tindin Damagivna.
So without doing this, without going through this kind of contemplative process, then it will be impossible for us to generate this kind of feeling. We'll continue to eat countless meals of animal flesh, and we will not be confronting the reality of the suffering that these animals go through.
Then Koran Dunguriona, ko demochibo mayona samkan mochigan mare, Choshakijan, Sama demoyona, Nakiboyona, then is samkan Jankan race.
So that was the first stage, and then the second stage is really to contemplate on the fact that there is there is absolutely no person who would wish that their own family members, parents, children, animals, etc., be inflicted with harm or suffering. There is absolutely no person who would think this way.
Then that's so that Pamayana, Buddha Bomoyana, Sainanja, then Koranso Dungur me Deva Yona Koranso Ndokoyore, tani tsama dungmur mena dokeyo re tani ta korang chola dungmur chimbo masat dungmur chung ina tani to korang chola mena samni to dungmur te mena ga samni tindi samgyo re dewa ina tani dewa chimbo masat tani dewa chung ina te korang cho yona samni tindi samgyo re te nga chon roa mir tamchi ina ja chokshak tamchi ina ja tamchi jamnyim re te nga cho tsama ga tani samgyo re.
And then similarly, all living creatures, without exception, desire freedom from suffering, alleviation from suffering, not even great suffering, even the smallest suffering. Nobody wants it. And in terms of happiness, not just great happiness and bliss, but also even small kinds of happiness. These are things that all living beings really long for.
Teni korang ka teni dewa yungnasam, dungmur menasam, teni sam ka yoreta, yena teni mokjamba namki teni korang zambo gone teni ta zungne, teni korang la zambo gone teni ta simchen ka chokjat, korang ka li ka tokla, sem ka tokla, dungmur mambo teni ta parhtani, ta dungmur mambo yungchigni, ta teni shi ka yore ma tokba, korang ka chikyang do ka mare samne te sam gogres.
So what we need to think is that despite the fact that all living beings have absolutely no desire for suffering and every wish for happiness, that still there are people who come along and inflict them with great harm and suffering. And what we really need to really develop the understanding of in our minds is that there is absolutely no living creature who would want badness or suffering from themselves or their loved ones, and no living creature who would not similarly not want happiness for themselves or their loved ones.
Oya ta tinti yendi nga cho perna sha ta phaksha ge teni nga cho njiktum je gre ya kwantho oya te yen nan ja teni nga cho teni sha ge nga cho ya wo ke shapchi je gre ya ge jijing zama ga na la lu ya oya Tiso tsama teni korang ka thum ka tokla gati tiyo zona teni shada, pakda, yakbu zhini toga ta korang ka mun namla teni korang ka zhinga yan teni korang ka mun namla teni shejin joka yan zeni teni ka teni rimo yakbu mambu tiyo te tsama ngu kor ya rezi, chikyang ka ndoko yo ma rezi korang mun namji nga sanni nge mun namla shejin joka yan samkang ka teni shayo ma re teni ka pakayo ma re, chikyang yo ma rezi.
So when we look at the labels on canned food or on the small labels on packets of all kinds of MSG kinds of foods, flavorings and seasonings, and see that they contain animal ingredients, no, it's not this case that the animals whose parts who can constitute these foodstuffs have donated their lives for the sake of these foods. It's absolutely not that case at all. All of these animals have arrived in these food forms quite unwillingly.
Teni tendishini samlo mambo tangna teni tazo ngaso jambacho teni semjen namla teni dungur mambo yoyate ngaso hakoyong gores.
So thinking like this and really working on this kind of contemplation, we will come to the understanding of the nature of the suffering of other creatures and living beings.
Tani nga cho tenro chikpo ziki yo mare mo nang la yenna pena nga cho ngarang cho lipo detang yembi kapse tani naki nana tini ti dungur te chinti jing ha ko mare te ngarang cho soso tini lila napshong wi kapse mankan ga nalan jo wi kapse tini tazo naki dungur zeate halai ba dungur chimbo yembate tazo nga cho shigres.
So it's not just about coming to understand the suffering of animals, but also about human suffering, the nature of human suffering. In fact, when one has an illness or a sickness oneself, one understands the nature of that. But when they go to the hospital and see the scale of illness and sickness around them, then it's possible to gain an insight into the suffering of illness of others.
Teni nga cho tenro namla teni samlo tang charwi jisu teni nga cho mo nang la yana teni mo orbo mo napa teni mo kalak teni ta te wangbo ma chang yan da teni ta mo nani nyamchung 다때서 mambo 되니 요바 때서 등물이 요바가 mambo 요바 때서 탐질 라삼로 다네 다 까르티 nga 던리즈이나 간디연 사레스 되니 뭔도 나랑가 아파이나 간디인데 나랑가 보당 보모이나 간디요 사레삼데 되니 가서 먹나라야 되니 삼로 집고 땅고 그래서
So after we've done the contemplation on animals and other creatures, we need to turn our minds to humans, humans of all kinds of different predicaments and situations, those without power, those without money, those in poverty, those in all kinds of difficult and compromising situations. We need to really think, what would it be like if these people or that person were me? What would that be like? What would it be like if that person over there or that person in that situation were my own father or were my own mother? That's what we need to really work on contemplating next.
덴지 고니 삼로 마땅나 가서 멋세가 나네더니 소소고 냠용 초라 대와였나다 초라 등거리였나다 덴지 망보즈더니 가서 par son service tini nga so langsam jindo yore te samlo matang tini mo jamba namla pe na mo jamba la nat yona zai ke mepa gonje mepa tini ranchik tini mambo na la mambo la tini dungur mambo sor tini shena tini nga so samala ta na la tini jamda mambo nga so zambalang neser mambo nyima riri la ha so ko yore ta yina ta nga so o tini ri so mambo shison sam ji tini zama to ba ji yo maris.
It's really difficult for us to really take on board and keep in mind the suffering and the really difficult situations that are endured by other people, whether that be people who are sick, people without clothes, people without food, people without rights and privileges, freedoms, etc. Every day, of course, we're confronted with a great influx of information of people in difficult situations in the news, etc. But it goes one in one ear and out the other, and it's not something that we really take on. Probably, for example, in the year of 2014, the fatalities from airplanes that descended into the ocean totaled more than 1,000 people. So we see in the news, today an airplane went down and 250 people died. A few days later another one goes down and 170 people died. And we think, so many airplanes going down and so many people dying. Beyond this, we don't think much further. So really, when we are confronted with these kinds of news, what we do need to think is, what if I were among those 250 people who went down in that airplane disaster? What if I were one of those people? What would I have felt like? What would it have been like for me? So really, by really dedicating ourselves to thinking about and putting ourselves in the position of others in suffering, whether it be animals or humans, and generating a really intense and visceral sense of what their suffering is like, then this is the method that we need to adopt in order to come to an understanding of the suffering of others.
Musda say na nga so mo sem ko tang de la de ni kwaran so tam je bo mo sem de ni samba zambu je yin ge re ya ze na shan liang ya den ji re de yin di de ni chama ta mambo teni semjin nam ko dungmur mambo nyong ko ta yak bore son te drikson samri teni sam kan yo mareze chama o semjin nam la dungmur mambo teni mambo zendo ta dungmur te mena samni teni sam yong korese ma chama rangjin gi teni sam yong korese.
So by really coming to a really deep understanding of the suffering of others, we need to view all of these people as good people. We should certainly not have some kind of idea that either these people's suffering is deserved or that they should suffer or anything like that. No, what we really need to do is cast a fervent wish that all people be free from this kind of suffering.
The Gimson Karezana, not so more tamshik the same ganala, Nyarji Gotini, Yangji Chongchung, and also Mutamala Yorezi. Yina Tiniti, Nyarji te, Tangazo, Mumambo, Dungurta, Tinti, the Machina, Tini Koran Chongchung, she also same ganala, Tini Ndukuria, Chimbore Tokomarezi, Simjan Tama, Dungurta Machina.
Because without knowing the suffering of others and without identifying and empathizing with it, then even though everybody does possess the seed of compassion in their own hearts, without going through this practice of really, growing it and ripening it, then it's not possible for it to grow larger and grow bigger. And accordingly, it's not possible to really come to an understanding of the suffering of others.
Teni ti kapsang aso tini moina chokchak so dungor ta hale pa tangza mo tini ha ko yong wi kaps teni aso mo sudang ke na sem ko na la ta dungor te so me sona dungor te me pare sona sambadang teni chama dimore sona kibore sona samgi ti sambad teni aso semjen tamja hajang dungor yem ba ti sisong teni ko shikcheri cheri ro.
And by our increasing understanding of the suffering of others and empathy with the understanding of others, then our wish for them to be free of suffering and our wish for them to enjoy happiness and obtain happiness will grow bigger and bigger and bigger.
Benanga choteni zambalong ko sacha la teni sayum gyabanrada zambalong ko sacha la teni ju nam mamba tamba gyabni teni zaji kunji me panrada teni mambo us teni yungu yori te ngacho sanjir ko nawa nala mambo ko yori ta daily kyang ngacho teni ngune ngacho sacha tela soni tana teni ngacho chorwa jambazi yo kres chorwa hachang shiktak poteni yo kres yungres.
And so what will happen is that when we hear news of people suffering in earthquakes, etc., or through, food safety disasters, etc., that we won't view them as others, people remote from ourselves, that our feeling of compassion for them will really grow in its intensity and strength.
The Jimson Carrera is an also Sarsho Kotoniana, Sarger Kotoni, Nawa Nalanyana, also Jimmot in the Jipcha. Yaboza hako tangza mo hako mare then also sacha tela soni mukache tana ta hajang tangza mo hajang saruz ko re te ko wi jimsen gi then also te semla yang teni chorwa te yang mndra wi jimsen te tindis.
And it's through really seeing with our own eyes, seeing live in front of us the suffering of others, not just merely hearing about it or knowing about it at a distance. It's that direct encounter with the suffering from others that will generate a quality of feeling that is quite different to simply second-hand knowledge of suffering of other beings.
Tati kapsa ngacho utini te semjen sama utini dungur te tini tangza mo tini shiyongdi tini ngacho uta sem ka nangla tini jo sem ka tangni tini soso rang sem ka tangni ta semjen te so tamche pu dungur te par me pare sona samne tini kaji nime ka tini samyong gore tela tani ta nyarji zegres nyarji chamme zegres semjen tamche la samna tani ta tela nyarji chamme zegres.
So as a result of knowing and confronting and coming to understand the suffering of others, the really intense desire and wish that all of these beings be utterly free from suffering and instead enjoy every happiness, the really strong generation of this wish is what we're referring to by the fourth immeasurable of compassion.
Teni ti ramba ni patiri, ta ramba samba ti kangrezina, teni ti kapsi teni to tarung teni chorwa ti yar shitak bore yona, teni kansam karezina, teni ta semchin do chol tamche pola dungur mena samni ngarang ka sem ko samba chamgi yong mendung. O ta nge teni semchin do chol dungur ti par mebashi odomodo nge teni ta go ndo samgi ti sem ti poba de yong karez. Te ramba samba ti poba di ke yong karez.
So that was the second stage. And then the third stage is with this really fervent understanding of the suffering of other beings, what we need to do then is to really generate the confidence and generate the conviction that I will assist or I will alleviate the suffering of other beings.
Tati kapsa nge semchin do so dungur te mebache gona Gandhi na tapsi kandas go ne teni dungur me pashe go samne samlo tangdi teni o ta sangi sona ngarang sangi shakya ta bandawo teni zre sona teni nge semje mambola teni pantona yakbo to sare teni nge yindam ta ngarang njok nyer ke teni ngarang sangi go samne teni zi samyong gore te teni ta ramba samba tere teni ta nyarji te shangchip ko sim teni re songores.
So then this third stage is that when really generating that conviction and wish to personally benefit all living beings, we need to think about how we're actually going to do that. And we need to cast the sincere aspiration that we will achieve Buddhahood in order that we can benefit beings in this way. And when we have cast this really fervent aspiration in the third stage of this practice, then this fourth immeasurable of compassion has become bodhicitta.
Ya tatini shanship ko sem gumsr zenandra jondr shitav zenandra tetindizri.
And this is a practice of the generation of bodhicitta.
Teni nga tso terang dina yongken ko tsangma teni ti ton la samlo yak botang teni ti gum gyawya ti nga tso tsangma la rewa yins.
So I have great hope this evening that everybody who's come can really think about these things and really put them into practice through their own meditation.
Teni nga tso namgin gandhi rezena teni nga tso perna boban ra yinna teni nga tso kyumchang chik botela nga tso la ju shawa lamdru yoya teni kyumchang chik botela teni ju naji chaji meya teni gu tonda teni nga tso lama da jaba so nga tso kyumnang la yongne teni ju teni ndongenra teni mambo teni sheki teni gu te luktur yores.
So among us Tibetans, sometimes we've got a tradition of, for the sake of our own family's happiness or for the sake of our own family's prosperity and good fortune, etc., inviting lamas and monks to come to our homes and recite scriptures and prayers.
Tani jamun rao inna tani to namjin tani to sosochi tani shawa lamdro yoya ta Chong lamdro yoya, tani soso tani chu to ta naji saji meya tinji utondang la tani soso gumbang nang lan ne tani chobambar yata tani pu parne tani sanji la kyorang nga la tani shawa lamdro yoya tani ji shokta tani nge kyola tani pu barkayen chijum barkayen chishye kayen zene tani par lab grace.
And as for Chinese, similarly, they, for the sake of their financial prosperity or the smooth runnings of their own family, good luck in life, etc., have the custom of going to the temple, offering incense before the Buddha and making a prayer, "Oh, Buddha, help me, give me all these things that I want." And as for what the Westerners do, he's not quite sure. Oh yes, but in terms of the things that the Tibetans and Chinese do, there's absolutely no meaning in any of it.
Nga tso gyayen nanda, boyen nanda, nafshok bayen nanda, tsama zhantun la samlo tang, zhampan la samlo tang na, teni nga rang tso rang ton ti 이 식을 안 적용 그래.
So really of what is of greatest essence, what is of greatest importance, regardless of whether we are Tibetan or Chinese or Westerner, is that we think about others, the benefit of others, their happiness and well-being, and not about our own selves.
Tani ngaso 야인나 텐디 제근도 tani 야블라마 소고 tani ngaso 보바가야 텐디 셰그레 tani 다 소바 망본소 tani 지 tani 지 자기보 망볼레 tani 티나라 용네 페나 ngaso marme chimchona tani 지 yense 판독 지요 뭐요 텔라 고르모치 고제 텐디 망볼레네 ngaso 총례 그 돈달라 텐디 랭크야 망보요레.
So Chinese and Tibetans are both alike in going through all kinds of religious practices, almost kind of like kind of doing a religious kind of business transaction in order to obtain benefits for themselves. This is of even less meaning. This is not Buddhism. It's not. It cannot be classified as Buddhism. What is Buddhism is having great belief in the law of cause and effect. So within religion there is of course the saying, and there are people who say that it's not the Buddha who's going to help us, it's us who needs to help ourselves. And so what they mean by this is by saying that praying to the Buddha has no purpose at all. Oh, and what the meaning of this is that the Buddha's teachings, the Buddha has given us teachings about how to live and how to alleviate suffering. And what our task is to do for ourselves is to apply these teachings, to follow them and do them ourselves. And beyond this, the Buddha can't do anything to help us. It's really up to ourselves to put his teachings into practice. So what the Buddhist faith is and what the Buddhist teaching really is, the core of it is that we have proper belief in the law of cause and effect. That's the first thing. And the second thing, in benefiting others, in compassion. So tonight we've given a teaching on the practice of bodhicitta, which is a very convenient meditation that everybody can apply and everybody can really work on. In addition to this, there are in the Tibetan tradition, in Tibetan language, lots and lots of practices that people can that can also be studied and that can also be practiced. They are available in Chinese. There's lots available in Chinese language and also presumably in English as well. So that brings to conclusion our teaching tonight on bodhicitta and the Four Immeasurables. thank you to everybody.
Oya teni the Samala Jati Langatani long rate, any tanga zum jinter, Sama tini Hoa molum sushi, teni Terangazo, tini Chucha GP, tini Gavisavan de la tini, Simchin Tamchipo Nirkubs, teni Samala tini Tserangwatang, Nabme Patang, tini Demo Kipot in Dijon, teni Tartik Simchin Tamcha, Sargi, Gombantoya, tini Rena Samjeta, that Tindas Yongu Shirta. Teni nge gewan the simchen tamchen la par jingin samni tenri sam gore de la ngwa zegre na teni nga chu tendi gune ngwa shi gore.
So having concluded the transmission, now we will dedicate the merit from tonight's teaching, so that in the short term all living beings may obtain happiness in terms of their immediate lives, be free from illness, be free from immediate obstacles, and that in an ultimate sense that they be free from suffering and obtain Buddhahood. That now we will dedicate our merit in prayer.
Sonum de tamjo zubanya domne ni be dana banje je ga na je rolon driba Tribim Zolin Doa Dorvarsho Oma Hom Banzeranger Bama Sada Hom Oma Hom Banzeranger Bama Sada Hom Oma Hom Banzeranger Bama Sada